I look at my past work and I think it's technically excellent. And what I find interesting about my past work, it's such a true representation of my headspace at that time. So before it was kind of just the works in the space and it was all about the skill, and that's beautiful, but the skill doesn't impress me anymore. So I'm like, if I'm not impressed by it, no, I'm not saying other people won't be, but it doesn't excite me like it used to. Doing the same thing is like the worst thing I think the worst thing I could ever do. I've got to keep changing. So I'm constantly like thinking of like what I can do to like reinvent myself. I think it's very important. What I really enjoy about the series, there's different forms and shapes that can manifest in themselves. As someone who makes hyperrealism, I love this series because it's abstract. It's as abstract as I can get with hyperrealism. And so I wanted to experiment with paint again. I was like, I want to do paint again, but not the way I did last time. Fuck, why don't we combine like this Rorschach test, this psychological, crazy, creepy, freaky test that used to get used a lot, not so much anymore, with this like really naive children's squish painting. And I thought it was a really interesting mix of like sinister and amateur. And so I was like thinking for many months, I'm like, what do we do to showcase this idea? And I was thinking about like psychological, like psych wards, padded cells. I'm like, we were just gonna do a room with like padded walls. I was like, yeah. I'm like, what else is padded? What else can we showcase to be padded to really get the point across? And I'm like, oh my God, do you know what else is padded? A bouncing castle, that's it. I always had a skill. I was always able to draw since a very young age. Knowing that I could go and become an artist wasn't really on the table. Like it's not something that is very clear. So I wasn't really in the mind, I didn't quite understand how to get there. So for me, creativity comes through structure. 2% of everything is creative and the rest of it is like sitting down and methodically drawing and making my work. Part of my practice with hyperrealism, making my drawings, it's so labor intensive. I'm very rigid in the way that I work. I'm at the studio, it's like 7 in the morning. I leave really late. I work, it's like the way I work's quite organized and yeah, like I said, structured in a way. I don't think you can force your opinions on anyone because then they won't experience it for themselves.